Hello, how are you today? My name is Harry and this is Learn English with British Harry. I have taught thousands of students and I find introducing interesting topics can help making learn English a bit more entertaining and a bit more interesting. So today is Black Friday. Now, have you bought anything on Black Friday either this year or in the past? It's it can be a good time to grab a bargain. If you have been thinking about buying something for a while, this could be an ideal opportunity. I think Black Friday was a bit more exciting in the past, especially when it was first introduced. But over the years, I found that interest has been declining over the years. But let me know about yourself. Have you bought anything this year? Were you thinking about buying something? Black Friday is an interesting time because people are getting ready for Christmas, so it can be a good time to buy presents in preparation for Christmas. So let's have a look at an article here. Now, this is 5 ways to avoid being ripped off on Black Friday. This is an interesting verb. This is a phrasal verb. So, to be ripped off. This is to be cheated or charged too much. For example, I paid £50 for this shirt, but I found the same one online for £20. I feel ripped off. Or it can mean to steal or copy something without permission. That movie completely ripped off an idea from another director. So if we think about being ripped off on Black Friday, it should be the opposite. You should think, Black Friday is a good chance to find a good deal and to potentially save money. So why are people getting ripped off? Why are people spending more money? And how can you avoid this? The Black Friday sales are already in full swing, and it can be easy to get swept up in the shopping frenzy and end up out of pocket instead of bagging a bargain. Full swing. The phrase in full swing means that something is at its peak activity, fully operational or happening with maximum energy and enthusiasm. It's often used to describe events, processes, or activities that are well underway and going strong. So the Black Friday sales are already in full swing. So instead of just having one particular day, Black Friday, a lot of shops have a lead up to Black Friday and even things afterwards like Cyber Monday, because this is an ideal opportunity to get on the bandwagon of Black Friday. People already know what it is. So shops are trying to encourage people to start spending as much money as possible. So it may not even be on this particular day. It's a lead up the week before or even the weeks before this particular day. A shopping frenzy. This refers to a period of intense and often chaotic shopping activity. It typically involving large crowds of people who are eager to make purchases. This term is commonly used during sales, events, or holiday seasons when shoppers rush to buy items, often driven by discounts or limited time offers. So it's a very intense time. Here, they're not just saying that people got swept up in the shopping experience, it's a frenzy. So it's very, very intense. And I can visualize large crowds of people just trying to get that bargain, to get that item before the other person buys it. So it's almost like FOMO, so fear of missing out. So people don't want to miss out on this opportunity because they don't know if they're going to get that special deal in the future. So this is an interesting marketing tactic to get people to spend money. Bagging a bargain. This means successfully finding and purchasing something at a much lower price than usual. It's often used in the context of sales, discounts, or thrifty shopping. So thrifty, if you're thrifty, you try to save money. You try to look and judge to see if is there something that I have to buy? Is it something that I need? Or is it something that I want? Because sometimes if we just buy everything that we want, you can end up in debt. You can be really struggling financially. So it's important to think about what we actually need. So the phrase, it suggests excitement or satisfaction about getting a good deal. I must admit, when I grab a deal or bag a deal, it feels good. You have a dopamine rush. It feels really good, like you saved money. So you feel good about bagging a bargain. In the article, they say make a list and stick to it. So they recommend making a list and avoid impulse buys. What is an impulse buy? So an impulse buy refers to items that a person purchases spontaneously without planning or thinking it through beforehand. If you buy something spontaneously, it's an instinct. You see a good deal and you just go for it. You're not overthinking it. You're not thinking about do I really need this? So you're acting on impulse. You're just going to buy something because you want to feel good in that moment. These purchases are often influenced by emotions, marketing, or the allure of a good deal rather than a real need. If you stick to your list and stay within your budget, you'll maximize your savings without unnecessary splurges. Splurges is quite a fun word. It's nice to say splurges. This refers to spending a lot of money on something, often as a treat or indulgence, rather than out of necessity. It usually implies buying something luxurious, extravagant, or expensive that you wouldn't normally purchase. Let me know, have you ever bought anything on impulse? Have you bought something without considering whether you really need it? What was it? And have you splurged out on something? I think buying these microphones is something that I splurged out on because I looked at the price. I saw that it was relatively expensive, but it wasn't an impulse buy because I did my due diligence and I looked at the reviews, I looked at the video reviews, I spent a long time trying to see, is this something that I really need? Yes, it is because it provides good audio quality. Then I read through the reviews and I did lots of research. So I decided to splurge out on this because it's something which is good quality and will last for a long time. They also say to compare historic prices. When looking to make a purchase, it's worth comparing the price at multiple retailers. He also recommends using websites that allow you to check a product's price history over the previous 12 months. So this is quite interesting because its research suggested 9 in 10 of the deals analyzed were the same price or cheaper at other times of the year. So when the shops have these marketing tactics to create a sense of urgency that you're going to miss out if you don't buy this particular product, but the price was cheaper or at the same price at different times of the year. And here we have the statistics to prove that. Now, you can also search for second hand. I am a big fan of buying things second hand or used, going to charity shops, because I feel that you can get a really good deal. And firstly, you can save money. Secondly, you can help the environment, and it gives you more money to play with. So instead of buying one item brand new, you can buy a few items for that same particular price. Okay. Now here, so 63% of people would be comfortable receiving second-hand Christmas gifts. How would you feel if you received a second-hand Christmas gift? This is interesting because when you're giving a present, it's one of the most exciting parts of receiving a present is when you have to open the gift wrap. So you open the wrapping paper and you see the product inside and you get to open it and you have that feeling that you are opening it for the first time. But if someone else has already used it before, it may dampen that experience. But I think it's a good thing because you are not falling prey to consumerism, and you're almost in a way recycling these gifts, if it's a toy or if it's clothes. And within a family, it's quite normal to have hand-me-downs. So in terms of clothes and toys, and a further 26% felt neutral about the idea. So that's quite interesting. Then they say, beware of debt. So many people use credit cards when buying items that they don't necessarily need, but they see that as a discounted price, so they may justify to themselves that they can save money. Now here we can see on a typical credit card, if you make a £300 purchase, paying £20 a month will take more than a year to pay off and mean having to pay £55 in interest. So if we just look at this word debt. So debt refers to money that someone owes to another person, organization, or institution. It is usually borrowed with the expectation that it will be paid back over time, often with added interest. Debt can result from loans, credit card use, or unpaid bills. So we can see here debt is not a good thing for your credit score, but also mentally, if you're having to think about having to pay this money, it can lead to a lot of stress. So debt and thinking about your money and budgeting is really important. I think many people don't really look at their finances, and maybe they are forced to look at their finances, especially with the cost of living crisis. I think that people are forced to budget, but It's not the most exciting thing to do, but I think it gives you a sense of control when you can look at your budget, know exactly how much money you have, and you can start to save as well. So you have to be aware of debt. Check for scams. A scams are dishonest schemes or frauds designed to trick people into giving away their money, personal information, or valuable resources. Scammers often exploit trust, urgency, or a victim's lack of knowledge to deceive them. So criminals use the hype around Black Friday to steal from online shoppers. They say the best way when shopping online is to buy from a trusted retailer and always pay by card for the greatest protection. Be wary of fake websites and check if the web address belongs to an official brand. Beware of newly created social media posts. It warned against buying at too good to be true prices. So this phrase, too good to be true, is often used to describe a situation, offer, or deal that seems so amazing or perfect that it raises suspicion about its authenticity. It suggests that something may be unrealistic, deceptive, or have hidden downsides. So generally, if something is too good to be true, if you see a price, if you're looking at some trainers and the retail price was £120 and now the price is £20, something's a bit fishy there. Why have they discounted the price so much? So it's really important to be aware of these things. So overall, they give some important advice and useful advice to avoid being ripped off. But is the best way to avoid being ripped off by just avoiding Black Friday, which is something that I usually do. Because I know if I see these special deals and these discounts and you see 50% off, 60% off, it's quite enticing. It's almost like you will see a shop and they have a sign and they say 50% off, but in small writing, which you don't normally see, and it will say on selected items. So you go into the shop, you see the sale items, and they're not things that you really want, and then you look at other things. Or they will say up to 50% off. So some things may be 10% or 15%. So it's really important to think about what you actually need rather than what you want. So what has been your experience with Black Friday and shopping in general? Are you someone that likes to look for a good deal and save, or are you someone who buys spontaneously? And how and what items have you bought? Also, a quick reminder, I have created a fantastic ebook for you. It's completely free and it contains 5 amazing tips to help you to improve your English quickly. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.